Story of a father who had two sons. And the younger son became very restless, and he decided that there was more to life than just taking care of his father's estate, helping out around the house, shall we say. And he got very restless and wanted more, but he figured more out of life. And he wasn't thinking about how that might affect anybody else. He was thinking about number one, about himself. And he went to his father and he said that I would like my inheritance. Well, inheritance always comes after you pass away. Okay, so really it was kind of a cool request in a way, because it was almost as if the son was saying, I wish you dead, you know, I really don't care, I just want my money now, you know. And so, but the father, in his kindness and goodness and his love for his son, he said, yes, I will give it to you. So he gave the money to his son, which would have been about a third of his, because the older son, in all Bible times, the older son got the bulk of the estate, and the younger siblings got less. So he would have got about a third of the money. He set out for what is called a faraway land, okay, which we really don't know where he set out to, but he went to maybe the city or something. And he just started recklessly spending the money. He made lots of friends. Of course, we all know what the friends were for, because he had all this money. You know, they helped him spend all his money. And so he found himself, never ended up saving any, didn't put any back for a rainy day, and a famine hit that land. And so he was left with absolutely nothing. No money, no savings, you know, nothing, and no job. So he decided to become a hired servant, and so he put himself out there, and somebody took him on and put him to tend the pigs. Well, to a Jewish man, that was a very, very, very low job, because in Jewish culture, the pig or the hog is unclean, considered very unclean. They were not allowed to eat it, they were not allowed to, but this young man was so hungry that he would have been willing to eat the pig slop, but they didn't even offer him that. When they gave him the pig slop, it was go to the pigs, not to him. So he was very, very starved, and one of those days he just woke up finally. He finally just had that aha moment and said, this is ridiculous. My father's hired servants, those day people that come in and out, they have all the food that they want. My father's very good to them. They have anything that they need, and why am I sitting here in a pigsty when he said, I know I cannot go back as my father's son. I have already burnt that bridge, but I can go back as a hired servant. I'm a hired servant here. I can be a hired servant for him. So he left that country and started back for home. And I can only imagine the whole way home he's thinking, okay, what do I say, what do I say, what am I going to do? Is he even going to look at me? Is he even going to acknowledge me? Because I totally just left him high and dry and took his money and spent it, and here I am. But so when he was a far way off, the Bible tells us, which I think indicates that the father probably walked every day to the main highway, whatever the roadway coming to that area, looking just to see if maybe the son might return, because the father saw him a far way off. If his father would have been sitting at his home or in his field, he wouldn't have saw him. So he was up on the road, and he saw him, and he started running. And I have found that in Jewish culture, again, in those days, for a grown man to run was not considered a thing to do. But the father was so overjoyed seeing his son, he started running towards him. And the boy saw his father, and of course ran to meet him, and I imagine he fell on the ground in front of him and just said, Father, Father, I just don't deserve. I don't deserve your love. I don't deserve anything from you. I've totally rejected you, and I've rejected God, and I've rejected everything. And he said, please take me back as your servant. Well, you could hardly even get those words out of his mouth that the father was embracing him and hugging him and smothering him in kisses, and then shouting out to the servants that he had around, get me my finest robe, get me sandals, get me a ring. And all those things meant he was not going to be a servant by any stretch.